We've got John Wick coming in.
How we're doing
It's
all
Joe
right
Wicks,
this
isn't
summer,
it?
and then it's all come back.
Yeah, John Wick's a very
John Wick's
different
coming
guy.
in. Charity do.
Charity do.
Hi, and welcome to our last edition of Trade Talk from Trade To Trade Underwriting of the Year. I'm James.
I'm Ben. Hello.
And this is Nick McDonald from the Compliance Guys.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you, Nick. Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
inviting me.
Sorry we
Yeah.
didn't put the heating on, but it's so expensive now.
It's freezing in here, isn't it?
I think you've managed to get it up
Absolutely
from
freezing.
-4 outside to -2 in here, so that's some
Yeah.
going.
Zoe really struggles in that office, doesn't she? Flipping
I
out.
don't know why.
She said to me,
Mine's boiling.
She said to me the other day, I'm going to work from... No, you're not going to work from home. You need to come in. She's like, fine. And then I thought, right back, because I know how cold it is in here.
It's like working in like an ice factory.
-8 at my house this morning.
You
Yeah,
can't win,
crazy.
to be fair. In our office, I think it's quite warm in there, and I walk in, and everyone's got blankets on. They even have a hot water bottle that they pass around the office.
Really?
I can't get my head around it, but yeah, they're
some
cold.
people
Even.
like that, aren't they? You know, a bit
Some
nash.
people are always... My dad was... I mean, he was ill, but he was always cold. Remember that rapper, was it Man's Not Hot or something? We used to like, Dad.
No,
Yeah.
to be fair though, it is cold. You know, it's meant to be 12 degrees on Sunday.
Minus.
No.
Or plus.
Plus.
It comes to something when you expect it's going to be minus
Yeah.
rather than
So
positive.
it's going, that's a 30-degree shift at my house, 8 to 12,
Is it?
20
It's 10
degrees.
to 20. Yeah.
20.
I'm not letting you do accounts anymore. We've made £1 million. Oh, yeah.
There we are, it's minus £1 million. Right, so
So, Nick, what would you like to talk about, Nick? Have we got anything in the
we've got you
pipeline?
here. We're really pleased to see you, mate, and thank you for your continuous support. I think the arrangement works well, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
you've obviously got a platform through us that has got a lot of people on it that need your services.
Mm.
So that's always going to be good, and it obviously keeps in within our brand. You know, helping our members get what they need.
I didn't realise how in-depth what you actually do. Only from, obviously, I follow you guys on LinkedIn as well, so see the sort of things that you do. But I know through my own, because I don't retail cars anymore. So my compliance is terrible, and I was saying that earlier, I've got about $2,000 in fees owed to the FCA that I haven't sorted out, only because I can't log into the system to print the invoices off.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
all just changed.
It's all
so
about
much.
knowledge, isn't it? And it's like what I've just said to you, Nick, when you first came in. You automatically assume it's getting people's licence up and running
Yeah.
so that they
That's
can
the easy bit.
self-finance. But you obviously
Sometimes.
then said how much more you're obviously doing at the moment.
Yeah, and I say it's the easy bit. You know, I think in the past people would be like, "I'll get my license, I can forget about it," and even that's got a hell of a lot more complicated now.
Yeah.
I said to you before, didn't I? You know, the FCA are adding things like financial projections, complicated
crazy.
questions about your experience, a CV, a DBS check. There's so much more goes into them
Yeah.
applications now that I think sometimes, you know, people are really grateful for what we do. I think what's great with Trade To Trade is it really aligns with what we do.
Yeah.
You know, we're not predominantly, 99% independent used motor traders,
Yeah.
which is going to be your market as well.
Yeah.
And our approach is always to help people first and take the money second. And, you know, personally, I've been on the Facebook groups for many, many years. And I think the time we've spent in talking to people on a level and not talking down to them
Yeah.
is now paying dividends in people trusting us to do that job for them.
Yeah.
But like you say, yeah, it's not just about getting people authorised. It can be, like James says, just the simple things sometimes in the admin. You know,
Yeah.
do you want to get fined 250 quid every time you don't do a
Well,
report?
so what I'm saying, I've had a
That
fine
means-
for the last 4 years running 250 quid.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And often
So
two
the money
reports come
I've-
together, so sometimes you get 500
Yeah,
quid.
so it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know, that's
I
just
bet you
silly.
half the money I was in fines.
But all the money. But what I'm talking about is it's getting your head round how busy you are anyway, and motor traders. I mean, I speak for I speak for myself, and I know loads of other motor traders.
Well, there's two here.
It's
and
not-
mine's
It's like my accountant trying to get me to give him information so he can finish off a VAT return,
Yeah.
or provide him with an invoice that he hasn't got or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, I'll get it over to you, Ed. Right, when are you going to do that then? I've been asking for it for ages. It's just stuff you don't want to be doing, isn't it? You
No.
know, and also as well, if you're saying now how complicated it was, By the way, it was a good job of there weren't any DBS checks when I was doing it. But just
we
joking.
see some horror stories. I can tell you.
Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, but I think if I was doing it now and I just came across something, you've come across a hurdle and you don't know how to get over it, do you?
No.
Or you don't want to get over it. If you spent a bit of time doing it, like an hour, you'd probably find some way. It's just you're busy, aren't you?
But what's an hour worth to you?
Well, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like the one thing you can't have is more time.
Yeah,
You know, how much time can you buy in the day? If you ask every car dealer,
yeah,
you know, what's your biggest pressure? It's time, isn't it?
yeah.
Every
Sure.
time. So, you know, just these little services, you know, one that we offer, even more one that you offer, you know,
Yeah.
the time that used to be spent in people going to the auction every day,
Yeah,
you know, like anything that saves time is going to be a great benefit to car dealers.
absolutely. And like you say, when you can do things online and you can do things remotely and everything like that, and you don't have to just honestly.
Cut!
But yeah, anything that you can have done for you, obviously there's always a cost, but you know, compared to what that cost is, like you say, how do you value an hour? You know, and that's more than reasonable to ask somebody that question, because it's like stuff that I have to do. And you think I'd be better doing other things. I can make money doing other things rather than that, and that's what. So not only are you paying someone to do something for you don't want to do, but it's a double whammy because you're out there earning the money.
Exactly.
You know.
You want to do one thing as a car dealer, sell cars. Don't want to do anything else. And, you know, I think in the past people have looked at compliance and gone, oh, they're going to talk down to me, they're going to embarrass me, they're going to overcharge me, they're going to make me feel small. And our approach to compliance is simply, let's talk to you as a car dealer. We've sold cars.
Yeah.
We've worked with car dealers for many
That's
years.
important.
We're passionate about the industry.
Yeah.
You know, probably sometimes to our detriment. We want to help everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, we want to let people get on with selling cars.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the most important things, but it's also the least on your priority list. It's really
compliance is boring. There's no two ways about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we do the boring stuff in the office, and when you look at like our LinkedIn and Facebook and that, we try and have fun because we want to engage people and go, you need to do this.
Yeah.
We're okay to deal with.
Yeah.
Let's deal with all the boring stuff in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. And then and the thing is, once you get through that barrier and you've got it in your head that you are paying that, but it's an ongoing support thing, isn't it? You know, because like you said, because they change a few things quite often, don't they? You need to be aware of this, you need to be aware of that. You know, with how, like, I remember, obviously the good old days, years ago, you could put pretty much whatever you wanted on an advert, weren't it? Was it about something like the interest rate had to be bigger than the pay, or
It used to be the most prominent. Now it's at least as prominent.
Yeah.
And that used to, like, we're getting technical here, but it used to be the same size. Now, realistically, if you can see the APR as well as the other financial information, it's just as obvious, then that's what
it's
you
like
do.
when you used to see the adverts or hear the adverts on the radio, and it'd be a really advert like. To pick an example, they'd be like really, some guy would rattle it all off because they had to get that in, didn't they?
But then they've changed it slightly, haven't they? Because I remember me speaking to one of the finance guys. They came and said, you know, what can we help you with to sell more finance? And I said, well, we can do some Facebook examples and everything else like that. And I said, but, you know, where do I put my written? And they said, oh, no, you don't need to do that anymore.
Well, that's not true. Don't trust the finance reps. Remember, they're there to sell more finance.
In fairness, that was a couple of years ago. So it's like, and we've not really bothered with that since, you know.
Do you know what? It's a good point. One of the key things the FCA are keen on now is what they call financial promotions, which is website adverts, stuff like that. There was a webinar the other week, and they were basically saying that they don't care what platform you're on, you still need to abide by the rules.
Yeah.
So if you look at something like Instagram stories, it's dead easy to flash up a car with a payment. Where are you going to put the typical example?
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, we don't care that Instagram stories only allow this much space. You've still got to put in your disclosure.
Yeah.
You've still got to put in your full example. You've still got to put in your APR.
So putting stuff like contact us for further details and all that, that's not good enough.
No.
Right.
And there's some nuance around that, but you know, again, it's kind of like, how much do you want to learn about that?
Care on the videos, like where you're watching a video on Instagram or on TikTok. Everyone's doing marketing, and then it's like you've got to pause it on a certain thing. I don't know what it is that you have to pause it on anything, but be some girl. But you could have it like that's how quickly stuff can flash up. Yeah.
What we try and do is try and take a pragmatic approach to that. You know, the FCA always talk about what would a reasonable customer expect, and and there are ways around that to go. For instance, let's make sure on the stories that there's always that typical example showing every 24 hours or something like that. There's ways around stuff.
Yeah. So
Another year's nearly over then.
I can't believe it's gone in a flash this year. I can't believe that it was how quickly it's gone since we were at the charity do. Because that was
Charity do.
Charity do. Seamlessly into charity do. Get your tickets, guys. The party is selling out quite fast. We've still got the prices on at $79.99.
We can go with what we've got now. We want to fill the place. We want to actually have an absolutely amazing. We've got 150 guests last year. The maximum is 180. We just want to fill it and get as many people in there.
And get some.
Hence why we've negotiated a better price. Nick's singing.
Yeah.
Nick's singing. That's going to put everyone off.
Yeah. But so you're
going to be there, aren't you?
I'll be there.
You'll be there.
I enjoyed it. It was a really good day last year.
It was good.
This year, sorry.
Let's hope it was. I keep on saying that last year. Last time
we raised over, what was it, 13 and a half, the final figure?
It was 13.
13 and a half grand
13 and a half.
For a charity. And I think that's fantastic. Fantastic achievement, guys.
Don't like to talk about it, they do it.
No.
But no, it was good. And it's going half to the same charity this time.
And half to Ben.
So that's got to be something that you've all got to get involved with. Yeah, not to me. Although we are saying half to Ben, so it could come to me because we've told everybody.
Yeah, we're not lied. Ben the charity.
The automotive industry charity.
So what have you got? I know you've been working on some bits these last few months. What have you got coming for next year?
We can finally announce our test drive app, which I think car dealers are going to find exciting.
You've done an app?
We've done an app. It doesn't do trade-to-trade cars, don't worry.
Could have warned you off.
I've got a tagline for you. The only other way is app.
The other way.
There you go.
So go on then.
So, the concept is fairly simple. When we started the Compliance Guys, me and John went back into selling cars, okay, just to not take a wage out and also get some experience of back what it's like on the car dealer side. And literally within a few days he rings me and says, Nick, test drives haven't changed in 20 years. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you go in, you ask the customer for the spare key, you get a trade plate, you plonk it on the dashboard, and off they drive. And this especially was coming out of COVID with unaccompanied, but even with accompanied. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? And he's like, well, does it not worry you that, you worry about 45 minutes whether the car's going to come back? Yeah. And then every car dealer's got letters on the desk, haven't they? A fine, a red light camera, who was speeding here, who hadn't taxed the car, and all the rest of it. He's like, we should develop an app to look after it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Well, we did it. I mean, we mothballed it for quite a while. Compliance Guys went mental. Yeah. And then what we realised is, one, that we could put it at the start of the journey for our own compliance system and journey, but also that it could help a lot of other people. So what we've developed is an app. Now what you do is, and what's worth saying is, even in main dealers, it is much better. We went to test drive John's car into a prestige dealership, one that sells the same car that you've got.
Robin Reliant?
Yeah, Robin Reliant, yeah. And we went, and they went, can we have your driving licences? They went upstairs, photocopied them, filed them away somewhere, brought down a piece of paper that had been photocopied 1 million times as an insurance waiver, and half an hour later, we're off to drive a car, and he's like, come back before 5. Like, cool. But that could have been a fake driving licence. We might have had too many points, we might have been disqualified.
Yeah.
No one knows
at that point. You should mention that, because when I went to test drive mine 18 months ago, I got 6 points on my licence, and they wouldn't put me on their insurance. I had to arrange my own insurance.
And did they do a check to see what points you had? Or did you tell them?
They must have done.
Yeah.
I had to do a DVLA share code thing.
That's it. So sometimes you'll do the DVLA share code yourself, go on, put your details in, share the code.
Which was an absolute pain in the backside, let me tell you.
Exactly.
Plus, as well, is there GDPR issues with people taking your driving licence and photos?
Depending on how they file it, how long they're going to keep it for, who's got access to the records. So what we've done is, you've got an app, You might be on the forecourt, you take a picture of the customer's driving licence.
Yeah.
It transfers all the data from the licence onto the app.
Yeah.
You click when you're going out for a test drive and what time.
Yeah.
So you've got a digital record now of every test drive and when it comes back.
Yeah.
All you then do is put in the customer's email address and phone number. And from there it sends out what we call the boring compliance document. So an IDD for finance, data protection statement, say how you're going to use their data, etc.
Yeah.
If they know their national insurance number, we can now then press a button and it runs off to the DVLA, verifies the driving licence and brings all the information back and puts it on the app. So what categories they can drive, which is especially great for like bike dealers, you need to be able to drive a bike always unaccompanied. How many points they've got, is the licence valid? So all of a sudden you've got a great record and a compliant record of each test drive and it's done in a flash.
Yeah, that's really good, that.
And then off the back of that, going to be some really cool stuff coming where we can feed the stock in, so we can do a lookup from a DMS provider, so they can actually go what stock they're going to test drive. So off the back of that, if you run in a busy site especially, you can go, who was test driving what cars, and what cars have been popular.
When the fine comes, let's say.
Yeah, and obviously for when the fines come, it's kind of that. And then off the back of it, you can start that journey, whether it's finance or into your CRM system.
So who you're aiming at then with that?
This is going to be all dealers now.
Yeah.
I think used car dealers should take care of it and think about it. Whether they will or not, there's always that question of apathy. But we've spoke to some of the biggest main dealer groups who already see that that's an improvement in their process. So, this will probably go to most of the motor trade.
Yeah.
I remember I used to just take driving license off people. And that's how crazy. Here's my 20 grand car. Give me a driving license.
Well, I must admit, when I took out my insurance, they said, "Oh yeah, and you can insure somebody that just comes along as long as you." And I said, "Do I need to even see a driving license?" No, you don't need to do that. You literally just hand them the keys off.
Try and get a payout if it goes wrong.
And well, this is it, isn't it? Because they tell you one thing, and you wonder whether or not.
There's a dealer I bought we bought our Bangers for Ben car from, and I know him really well. And he said, "Look at this CCTV." So these guys came to look at this Mercedes yesterday on the front. It was about 10, 12 grand, I think it was. They came back in, sat at the desk, and they said, "Oh, we'll be back. We're not buying it." They were back 10:30 that night. Jumped straight in it, drove off with it. What had happened earlier in the day is they'd been sat in it with the key. Car had been started, must have cloned it, and then 30 seconds it took them at night to come and steal the car. And I said to him, you've let someone sit in a car, started, and you don't even know who they are. You don't know their identity. You start that by knowing and validating driving license. They can run a mile.
But that's a normal thing to do in the trade, isn't it?
It is.
It surely is.
But look how many thefts are out.
I do.
Car stolen this week.
Did you?
Yeah. Out of local shopping centre.
Yeah, and you're not going to stop all of it. But the point is, the thieves are getting more brazen, and anything you can do to try and.
You see, my thing would that be, you can start it there, and all I'd do is park it in with another car.
Yeah.
So, I'll go back into my warm office. Yeah, they've got the key, but they haven't got the key for that, so they can't get away with it.
Yeah. And then if you get away from the scaring, so we did caring, not scaring, as we try and get away from that. It is simply, a used car dealers, how many people are keeping a record of what customers come through the door? I know a lot of it's digital, but if you've got 5 customers who've popped in and you've not even got the details, if you've got that on the app, all of a sudden you've got a database, you've got people to go at, you've got records.
And you've got people to follow up properly. I mean, what was it? I'm going many years ago now, and I'm sure it probably still exists in some form or another, but e-good manners.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm talking back in 2007, 2008 when I was at Audi. They had e-good manners. You had to load everything up. You had to do this, do that. That'd be far easier.
My God, it took some time, didn't it?
Well, it did. But as a trade, you see, when I first started on my own, I brought a lot of the things
you do if you work
that you do from a main dealer. Like an inquiry form where you write people's information down, and that's really what needs to happen. Like, okay, you want to test drive the car? Well, I just need to take your name and address. I write it down. You take the number down and everything. I mean, all in now, don't get me wrong, we still do all right and sell plenty of cars, but I often say to him, "So have you got his number?" No, I never got his number. They're like, "Well, he's just been out to drive the car." But that's not even an awkward conversation to have with a genuine customer either, is it? I'm just about to let you go out in potentially a £30,000, £40,000 car. I'm well within my rights to have your name and address and telephone number, an email address.
I think when I never used to take anyone, and it's like just you saying it there and then. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Right, you're interested in that car. You're ever test driving it. I'll have your driving license. You don't buy that car, you're gone. That's it. I might never see you again. But if in the process I've got your name, your email address, never mind your home address, but your name and contact details, I can follow you up in a week's time. So how have you gone on, Mr. Jones?
How long did it take you to have the app built?
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time and a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we believe in it.
Really? We know about that.
We think it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, no, you'll be good. So when this goes live, the winners will have been announced for the raffle. So congratulations. Merry Christmas. Whoever won the TV.
TVR is. Is that TVR you're giving away?
TVR.
TVR Griffiths.
Whoever won the VCR player, well done.
No, what did I say? TVR, did I say? So TV.
I was winding you up. You said TV.
You monkey.
So
the TV, congratulations.
It'll have gone live this morning. Whoever won the case of...
Don't start saying cases of stuff.
Okay.
Because it ends up still
case
being
of Toblerone.
Case of Toblerone. Yeah, we'll sort stuff.
Yeah, we'll get
the main thing is getting it sent straight out, so we'll figure that out. That's great.
Yeah. So, well done.
Nick,
Anything,
Christmas, what you do? You got plenty on?
Always, yeah. We're going out for Christmas dinner this year, which I'm really excited about. Because
That's a good idea.
Always end up cooking Christmas dinner, and then
it's a good idea.
You feel obliged to also do a bit of washing up. So I'm looking forward to just going out, coming home.
We did that a couple of years ago when after the year we got married. We were like, oh look, nobody mess about doing it all. We'll just all go out, and it was nice. The food weren't made with love. Because you've got the opposite,
I know what you mean.
Whereas if you're doing it yourself, you make it with love, it's nice.
You mean if you've overcooked your sprouts, at least you did.
Whereas when you've got a plate where someone's like,
did you see
I'm
that?
working today, just chucking it on there.
It was on the horrible
I never used to like sprouts, I do now. You have to cook them with a bit of bacon and fry them up. And
a bit of oil, bit of bacon, bit of garlic. Perfect.
What are you talking about? It's disgusting.
It's
Fried
beautiful.
sprouts.
Yeah.
You
pot
char
boil
a little bit as well.
I hate
you put them in a
mushrooms
big wok, and then you put them all things.
Mushrooms are fungus. How do you like mushrooms?
Magic.
It's become a cooking podcast
It
all of a
has,
sudden.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Then next year we're going to do
Very flexible.
keep fit one or something.
Yeah, we need
Okay, we've got-
to flip an egg.
I can say we've got John Wick coming in.
I would do it
But it's
all
Joe
right
Wicks,
this
isn't
summer,
it?
and then it's all come back.
Yeah, John Wick's a very
John Wick's
different
coming
guy.
in.
The random guy else is
100 best ups now. Bang.
So, good seeing it.
Thank you for inviting me on. It's been
No.
good.
Yeah.
And thanks for the merch. What we'll do is when we send some bits out, we're going to stick some of your merch in with the bits
Absolutely great. And thanks to everyone watching for getting through a podcast that talks about compliance.
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And food. Well, yeah, we got, so yeah.
Great.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you all out there. One and all.
See you later, guys. Have a good one.